Welcome back to the Marvel Movie Minute, a daily podcast which we disassemble a film from the Marvel Cinematic Universe in 1 minute segments and then examine it in obsessive and occasionally hilarious detail. I'm Kyle Wilson from the Swashbuckling Ladies Debate Society podcast.
Hey, and I'm Rob Cabasco. And Kyle.
Yes, sir.
Nothing may be more important or comfortable to healthcare workers, food service workers, and middle school students across the globe than the unique invention acquired by Lyndon Duke Hansen and George Bodecker Jr. to produce and distribute a boating shoe unveiled at the 2001 Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, which took the form of a foam clog named Crocs.
That's right. They only had 200 of them at that show, and they sold out every single one of them. Do you know how many they have sold since then, Rob?
Would I say? I could say 100 million. No.
No.
I could say 200 million.
Oh, it'd be appropriate. Iron Man 2.
But the number actually is, say it,
300 million pairs of Crocs.
300 million foam shoes.
Yeah. That's a lot of non-recyclable plastic.
And actually, I'm wrong. That's 600 million. It's 300 million pairs.
Oh, that's right. 300 million pairs. So 600 million shoes.
Hold on. Okay. Hey, we're going to front load this episode with a conversation about this.
Yeah.
I've never worn a pair of Crocs.
Oh,
Are
you
they
haven't?
any good?
Yeah. I have a pair. They're my outdoor shoes. So I use them basically when I have to do stuff in the yard or need to. Our trash cans are outside, so when I have to walk outside and do them.
Okay,
but
yeah,
I would never wear them like out in public. You know, they're my garden shoes.
But I mean, it never occurred to me. Like, I don't know. Like, okay. Well, if you're a Croc fan,
yeah.
Hey, guess what? We have a minute for you.
That's right. Because here we are at minute 104 of Iron Man 2 from 2010, director Mr. Jon Favreau, who we don't know his feelings about Crocs, but maybe we'll discover that over the course of this minute. But in the meantime, we're picking up where we left off, which is Black Widow's in the middle of a complex maneuver. So she'd gone through a bunch of different guys in the cord, and so she had grabbed a guy, went around, and it looked like she was going up, that she was going to set up for another Hurricanrana, but no, in turn she spins the guy around, grabs him, and slams to the ground. Now, the closest we could find for an actual wrestling maneuver is what's called a tornado DDT. So it's just sort of you whip yourself around the person, grab their head, and then you sort of launch yourself backwards. She doesn't exactly do that, but it's pretty close. It almost looks like a diamond cutter because of how she goes like sort of flat out and slams his head down into the ground.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
You're not gonna believe this, but the final part, it's almost like a Hurricanrana. I agree from the beginning. Yep. It ends in like a reverse Sister Abigail.
Oh.
Because it's kind of like the whole movement around, like not a rock bottom. It's not that.
No, it's not a rock bottom.
But this is movement. And normally Sister Abigail's end with your face planting your victim.
Yes.
This one is back of the head planting. Okay, now might be too much wrestling.
Yeah, that's some pretty deep wrestling stuff.
So, and then the guy's done. He's knocked out.
He's done. Yeah, he's out. Yeah, I think there's only one guy left then.
There is a bald gentleman who comes running around the corner. Right.
Because as she gets up and starts walking away, this, like you said, this is a very gifable moment as she goes walking through, and then doesn't even give the guy a look, but immediately sprays him in the face, like a no-look Mace spray.
Well, okay, and what I really love about this, not only is it just because she's full on looking straight into the camera.
Yep.
She has this ridiculous facial expression of focus, and yes, it is highly gifable. If anybody knows on the internet, it is another seminal moment in Black Widow's visual nature from this movie.
True, I have used this gif many times as my nope emote. Like basically not having it. Nope.
Does it include her macing the guy?
Yes.
Oh, of course it does. Well, that's good. Now where does she get the mace? So the bald gentleman who comes running around the corner that she takes out before this, he comes running around the corner with his can of mace ready to use on her.
Yeah.
And the joke is that not only does she dispose of him quite quickly, she takes his mace and then uses it against this guy.
Yeah.
That's kind of sharp. I enjoy that.
That's pretty good. It's a great one and a great sort of just final like mwah, chef's kiss to the end of this amazing fight scene. So shout out to Scarlett, shout out to Heidi and John Favreau and all the stunt coordinators and everything who put this thing together, and all the guys in there, and especially the guy who got punched in the balls.
Absolutely.
Special shout out and a special ice pack for him. It was a really amazing thing, and that still stands as one of the great Black Widow fight sequences.
Oh yeah.
As we head back, but meanwhile, there's another fight scene going on because Happy Hogan is still fighting the original guard they came across, Mr. Tannoy Reed. So the two of them are duking out, and as they go into a clutch, and Happy bites the guy's ear. And so people are like, for those of you who are of the younger set, you watch this and go, I don't understand, why is this a big deal to him biting the ear? That is actually an homage. See, back in 1997, a professional boxing match happened on June 28th. Evander Holyfield versus Mike Tyson. It was billed as The Sound and the Fury, but no one calls it that now because it's now referred to as The Bite Fight. During this fight, this is a WBA heavyweight championship match. As they went into a clutch, and Mike Tyson bit off part of Evander Holyfield's ear. I read the whole play-by-play of this, which is just sort of bizarre. He did it, and they're sort of like, oh, well, stuff happens, and fight on. And like, they didn't immediately in the match, they kept going, and then he did it again. And then the ref went, oh, I see, you're actually biting the guy's ear. All right, then you're absolutely disqualified. And he basically lost the match, lost his boxing license, and it became a huge, huge incident that around the world. But the thing that's weird about that is that it wasn't new. So this movie was shot in, 2009, 2008, 2009. That happened in 97. It was 10 years old by the time it gets to the point. So this wasn't like really knowing commentary, like, haha, like, well, you really had your finger on the pulse there. This is a 10-year-old bit. So literally. So I don't know why. It's like, I guess they're in the box thing, like, oh, it'd be funny if we did this thing, but it still seems a little cornball even then.
Well, okay, so just a little bit of added stuff on this.
Sure.
Have you ever watched this? Have you ever seen the clip of this actually happening in the fight?
I did. It's fast.
It's totally fast. It's unbelievable that his mouth and his ear are together for a fraction of a second. He went in and he knew what he was going to do, right?
Oh yeah, and he literally takes a chunk out of the ear and then spits it onto the mat.
It's a chunk. People, for those of you with weak constitutions, don't go run out and Google Mike Tyson ear, because you'll be horrified, right?
Yeah, it was like the size of a quarter, right?
Oh,
it was a chunk.
It was a full-on bite out of his ear, right? Now, so I watched that fight live, actually.
Really?
I had friends that were big Mike Tyson fans, and I will never forget watching this with them. And I was just kind of like, I'm just here to watch. And they were just like, wait, he did what? And then when he did it again, well, here's the reason why it's a big deal. You watched, which arguably at that time was the greatest fighter anyone had ever seen.
Yeah.
And in that moment, you just watched him throw his career away.
Yeah.
He almost kind of what happened, right?
Very close to never got to box again.
Yes.
Eventually, he petitioned and did all this stuff, and then was able to actually go back in and get his license reinstated. But he almost threw it all away.
So I think for anybody who's any type, and we know John Favreau is a sports fan.
He played Rocky Marciano in one of the movies, so he is a longtime boxing fan. So I'm sure that it was not an accidental.
I think it was him. I think so. That connects all the dots on that. It was still a big deal because, again, it was the end of his fighting career. Yes, I can totally see why they put this in here. What I can't believe is not in here is when Happy then finally gives him the final punch, and Happy doesn't look down at him and spits a piece of his ear out back at him. Does that change the rating?
I think it would. I think Paramount would have been like, whoa.
He actually took a bite of the.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
No, not the sidekick. No, he doesn't get to do.
Not a guy named Happy.
Yeah,
that's wrong.
Okay, two things, John Favreau: no spitting the ear out, no snapping the neck of the bird. Those are the two things you are not letting you do.
But let's be honest. But saying icky things to one of the female leads of the movie,
that's totally fine. We're absolutely fine with that.
Oh my God.
I want one.
What a world.
So Happy is so excited about this. Happy's happy. He finishes the guy off and then goes, I got him! And then, like, as the guy drops to the ground, and then he looks down the hallway and he sees all the bodies of all the people that we've seen before, including one we had not seen before. Rob, there's a guy hanging from the ceiling.
That's
by a cord. He's still alive. He's kicking, but... Okay, so this is the second time we've had. First time it was a villain, now it's a hero. Takes the time to hang a dude by the throat from the ceiling. What?
Okay, he's alive.
He's alive. 100%. He's kicking.
He wasn't hung to be killed. He's alive. It's just funny. Isn't it funny? Isn't strangulation funny? Do you know what makes it really funny? Is that when you really stop and look at this and realize she used a mouse to hang him with.
Right. So at what point did that happen? Was it like she finished off the guy, she maced the dude and went, oh, wait, there's one dude back there, and then like grabbed a mouse and went, hang on, and then like, first of all, how'd she get him up there?
Kicked in a door, found a computer, took the mouse, hoped that the mouse had a cable.
It wasn't a wireless mouse.
Okay, well, I don't even, that's not as big, right?
Yeah.
Takes the mouse, says, I think this cord will support the weight of a full-grown man. It won't. And puts him up. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It is literally there for comedic effect.
Yeah, it's just a psych gag. It literally is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ivan is still typing. Man, get that guy some gloves. He might get carpal tunnel from all the typing that he's doing. But we see him, getting ready to maybe possibly stand up, possibly for a stretch. I mean, that's at this point, that's the most Ivan has done in like the last 10 minutes. But when we cut to his computer screen, we see a wireframe outline of a suit. But it's not Iron Man, and it's not War Machine. It's a different suit.
What?
Okay. Foreshadowing.
And I'll tell you what. And nicely done in that you would think, there must be something hidden along with this. No, it simply says online conversion, as if something is being powered up. And it is kind of it's not realistic. It's kind of this reveal, like the animation on the screen is not what an UI would do, but
no.
It's slowly, like almost like a light is being put on this graphic. And it's trying to hide the idea that there's something coming.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
So we cut back to the expo, and Tony is still being chased. Boy, it seems like this chase has been going on for a long time. But he's about to do something awesome.
Yes.
So Tony says, Rhodey, you still locked on? Rhodey says, yeah. Tony says, drop your socks and grab your Crocs. We're about to get wet on this ride. So obviously, we talked about at the beginning, Crocs were very much of a thing at this time, very much in public consciousness, and obviously they're still around because they're not biodegradable, so they're going to be around for a long time.
Can I say something about this? We can't let this go. That line, and I've seen people write this. If you search for this, you'll find this. The fact that you could fit in a log flume ride reference,
yes,
footwear. Let's be honest, innuendo.
Yes.
And have it rhyme is pretty good. That's a lot of stuff in one line.
Yeah.
And obviously Tony, it's perfect Tony. So
right. We talk about Crocs, and obviously Jon Favreau is also a big Disneyland fan, I should say, fan. So I'm sure that, whether this ride is a definite nod to, Splash Mountain and those kind of things. So then we see, Tony is working on something. So he is flying on. He flies over the fountain reflecting pool.
The reflecting pool,
lead up.
Which, by the way, is way bigger and cooler than we ever would have thought.
Right. I mean, it's got lights and it's got like the fountain thing,
it's a series of shapes.
Yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous. I would love for this to really exist.
So fast. I would really like to see the full concept art of what the layout of it was. And so as he's going, he's got everybody tugging on the tail, and you can see he's planning out a flight path. Like, so it's actually like putting rings on, like a video game, essentially, like go through these rings to get through the thing, and it's taking him inside of the Unisphere. So as he's going, as the drones are right on him, he goes inside the Unisphere, and then the thing takes him right into, I think it's North America. It's a big landmass, and he immediately stops and then takes off again in a different direction, because he can do that kind of maneuvering. So, but then, unfortunately, the drones are not that smart and don't know what he's going to do, and follow him into the Unisphere and immediately slam into the backside of that continent.
And that's where our minute ends.
And that's where the minute ends. Like, the first one hits it, explodes it. It is so unbelievably cool. This is what makes Iron Man, is like that he knows he can maneuver so much easier than they can, and they're not going to be able to anticipate this kind of maneuver. So he makes basically a 0-point turn, immediately stops and then goes off in a different direction, and they can't compensate for it fast enough, and so boom.
Well, and also because they're making the turn into the Unisphere and not realizing that the other backside of the Unisphere is solid because of the Asian continent that's on the other side. A couple things to note about this in terms of the graphics. This is a great chance here to see the difference in UIs between Tony's suit and Rhodey's suit.
Right.
Tony's suit has got a fully detailed map of the expo grounds. Mm-hmm. You can see where, the drones are and everything. When it switches immediately to Rhodey's, it's so much more elementary. It's so much more. It looks like
elevation and like some red dots, and that's it. But Tony's got like full white flight path rings maneuver. Like he's got the layout of the ground around him.
No, really nicely done to see two different visuals made, obviously by the same team. This say like, look here, we're showing you again how much more advanced Tony's suit is, and there you get it there. I have a question.
Sure.
So we have this great animation of Tony's heads up, and it goes from that to the 2D map, a fully realized map of the Unisphere, all in these few seconds.
Yeah.
How does it know he wants what he's planning? How does it know to go into the Unisphere?
I wondered that too, and I wondered if it was a conversation he and Jarvis had, that we didn't get to see. Yeah, basically, it's to build suspense for us. So like, obviously, he wasn't going to tell Rhodey, because then anything he says, he knows is being transmitted back to Ivan.
Right.
I mean, like he has to be taking that into consideration.
And then another nice thing is he actually enters the Unisphere right on the west coast of South America. So he comes in right in under the nook there, because you can actually see it.
So it is Asia that he gets the drones to slam into then.
Yes, correct. Because they're on the backside. And it's really neat is right before he enters the Unisphere, you can see the heads-up display. It's mapping it out. He actually has it mapped out what he's going to do, how he's going to immediately turn right and then left and then stop. Yeah. And it even has deploy air brake on the right side, all laid out. I mean, if again, this is so great to look at it frame by frame, because all this detail is there telling all that. Can I tell you something that you didn't notice?
Ooh, what's that?
Well, so I'm gonna make an outrageous assumption here. As they're coming down in high speed over the fountains, the reflecting pool, it's all these shapes until right in the middle of the reflecting pool is an X.
Oh.
And I'm going to postulate that a certain Reed Richards has a pavilion.
Okay, wait. Why would Reed Richards have an X?
Oh, not Reed. That was a really good point. Yeah, it should be a 4. It should be because it's 4, because it's got 4 quadrants.
Oh, right, 4 quadrants. Okay, yeah, and X is 10, which is divisible by 4.
So ridiculous. You can tell at the time we've been recording this,
There's been just come off of fan theories bouncing around.
Come off of our fan theory fest of a certain MCU show.
Right.
Yeah, see, it fell apart before it came out of my mouth. It's ridiculous. So it's just a great sequence. You're right. I mean, I love the detail of the Stark Expo. I love seeing the UI. This is where the UI in both suits really shows its stuff. It's really great.
Yeah.
What a great minute.
It was a great minute. It really was.
Yes.
And it was it's full of everything. I mean, everybody got a little bit of FaceTime. Except Pepper, I guess, and Hammer. But it was good stuff. So, and who knows, maybe 105 will be better. but you won't know if you don't say subscribe, so make sure you're here for that. In the meantime, Tony got to visit the Stark Expo, and I know when I like to go to these fun places, back when we used to be able to do that, I like to come up with a souvenir. Well, here you are visiting our podcast. Maybe you'd like to go with a souvenir as well. So let me have you exit through the gift store, because we have our very own merch area. nextreel.com/merch. You can get our logo put on pretty much whatever you want. We have stickers, we have magnets, we have pillows, we have shirts, all stuff for not only this show, but all the Next Reel shows, plus some other fun stuff that whatever we can convince the guys to put up there that we think people actually buy. So, let us know. We are on all social media stuff. Like, if there's something in one of the shows that we talk about that you want to have a thing of, we can come up with a pretty good design and put it up there pretty darn fast. And I'd be happy to stretch my very, very, very rudimentary graphic design skills to do that for you. If it's something you want, I'm here for you.
Can I give you another ridiculous observation? Which,
sure.
Again, it's going to fall apart before it leaves my mouth. If you want to buy one of the pillows that we sell, right? And please get it with the beautiful artwork for season 3.
Yes.
Do you know what I just realized?
What's that?
Our artwork has feathers.
Feathers. Oh.
It may be the first time you can buy a pillow where the feathers are on the outside.
And the inside. I don't even know what they're stuck with.
I don't think they're down.
Oh, okay. No, okay.
That's all. I'm a mess. We're done.
Okay. So make sure you're back here for minute 105. We're going to talk about an impossible camera angle, a trip to Huntington Gardens, and what is hazard level 9? You'll find out. Enough said.
Bye.